Hello. So, I haven't really uploaded in a little while, but I decided I wanted to do some more research on the topic before I start talking about it. So, as we know, there is a little situation in Ukraine, correct? The Russian Federation has launched a full-scale invasion a couple weeks ago. This really isn't the first time they invaded. This is actually not even the beginning of a war. They started this war a long time ago, actually, back during what was referred to as the Separatist War of 2014. And it had been a stalemate until this moment, where they had the newest incursion and operation. Sorry about the poor camera quality, by the way. But it's nothing new. But still, as we know, it's not good. War is not good, obviously. The Ukrainians are fighting hard. I do respect that very much. And it goes to show why civilian populations should be armed. Because as we see, they are now being armed. They've been armed for a little while, actually, I would say. The public armories have opened up to the public a very long time ago. And they've been fighting like hell. Seriously. Hold on a second. So, as we know, this, again, is obviously no good. But it is what it is, unfortunately, and we can begin working on a way to fix this. But the Ukrainians have been fighting hard, and they're winning. The 40-mile armored column is being destroyed, slowly but surely. The Ukrainians are winning. Also, I'd said it many times, but now what I said came true. The Yanks are coming. We're already there. No military is involved, but our people. Not just kind of the Polish, French, German, and British people who have also gone into the war on their own. When you're down to it, it's really brave. But, as we also know, the Russians do not want to be there. Because what is war, after all? It is nothing more than a bunch of old guys arguing. And essentially just bullshitting with each other and letting their young men and women die. People refuse to surrender Ukraine. Civilian targets are being attacked. And as we also know, these are acts of, well, these are criminal acts of war. They invaded a sovereign nation. They are attacking civilian targets. Not all of them, okay? The majority of the Russian soldiers are not evil. They are not attacking civilian targets. But you do have those that are. As for them, burn them. Who the fuck cares? They deserve whatever they get. As for the normal soldiers who are just doing as they're told, I respect them, and I hope you respect them as well. The Russian people do not want this war. There are many Russians that I know who are sick of this shit, but they can't speak up because they're under a communist, no, not communist yet, fascist. It leads to what communism and fascism both lead to, which is collectivism, which is evil, as we've seen. Putin is a fascist dictator. he used to be great, and you can still say he is. He brought up the Russian economy so fucking well. But that doesn't discount what all he's done. What all he called for. The incarceration of homosexuals. The extreme secularism. You can still be religious, but it's just extremely limited to. That part's not glossed over as much, but it is a thing that's going on. And while I am an atheist, I believe that every single person has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Does that mean that you have the right to happiness? It means you have the right to pursue happiness, as long as you do not infringe upon the rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of other people. That's the American way. That's the Western way, for the most part, and that is the way of liberty, freedom, and democracy. Or not even always democracy. In multiple kingdoms, Belgium, for example, is a prime example of this. But, as it all goes without saying, this is horrible. This is war, the way it's always been. And hopefully it doesn't get resolved. The Ukrainians are winning. I'm 17. I wish I could be there right now. I really want to be there. I really want to do something, but I can't. Which is a shame. And I'm sure many people watching this want to go help in whatever way they can. Whether it's in combat, whether it's in transport, whether it's in medical, whether it's in anything at all. When I get my tax return back, I will most likely be donating a portion of it to the Ukrainian army. It ain't going to be much, unfortunately, because my tax return I'll be getting is not large. I will not be saying what it is. That is confidential. But I will say this. It's not large. So, can't really give too much. However, I will, hopefully, if I can find the right outlet for it, I will give something. We need to support this. As for all my Linux guys, all my open source guys, my good friends, my good allies, despite how much we may hate the mega corporations, we are all hand in hand in one thing. We despise what the Russian government, not the Russian people. They are unfortunately in the crossfire, the subject of this. I know many Russian people who are barely scraping by now. It's the Soviet Union all over again. But this is what needs to be done, unfortunately, to hopefully get the people to realize Putin is not on their side. And to push to a point, to a breaking point, where they have to do something themselves. Because Putin doesn't care. The politicians don't care about you. And I say the same thing by here in the US, whether they're Republican, whether they're Democrat, or whatever they are. They do not care about you. You need to realize this, and only then, once you realize it, can you actually do something? Can you actually work your way out of it, in some way at least? Not entirely, that's somewhat impossible for the foreseeable future. But that is how it is, and there are ways to mitigate the total control, which I will make multiple videos on cybersecurity about that. Of Linux, open source versus proprietary, etc. But we all have something in common. That is that we do not support the Russian government. I, for one, do not support the Russian government and their actions. I do support the Russian people. And if I really hate seeing them suffer. These are great people of a great culture, but their government forced all of us Yanks, all of us in the West, even in the East, China is not siding with them anymore. And we all know if Switzerland, okay, and even Sweden and Finland, all neutral nations that were neutral for the most part during both the World Wars. World War II, Finland was involved, but that's because they were attacked first by the Soviet Union. But again, if those three are picking sides against Russia, or anybody for that part, you know shit's bad. You know it's gotten to a breaking point. So, with that out of the way, what can we do? Cyber attacks for infrastructure? Somewhat. I do not encourage that, for the most part. But Russia is attacking us, so we do need a counteroffensive. So, what does this mean? This means multiple things. This means we need to, it really depends. Depends on your situation. Unfortunately, the price of petroleum has skyrocketed. One thing I recommend is that you write to your local congressman that we need to reinstill fracking here in the United States. You can hate Trump all you want. I see reason of why Trump was a bad president, but there are reasons why he was a good president as well. He prevented the invasion of Ukraine for a little longer, or at least the full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The actual invasion started before Trump's presidency, back with Obama. And Obama was dealing with Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and all of that. I don't blame him for not focusing on the East. It makes sense why he didn't. He couldn't. There was too much with the Iranian nuclear missile program. As much as I hate Obama, I do respect him for focusing on that. So, we need to reinstill fracking here in the US. We do. We can be an export state. We can produce our own for our own nation and also export it to other nations. Because we cannot rely on Eastern Petroleum anymore. Semiconductors, we need to bring to the West. We need to get it through the US. We need to get it through France and Italy. That can all be done. France, not so much. But France is also they are also the gold standard of energy. But I will make an entirely different video on that alone. But with the politics and the economy aside, war crimes are being committed. However, the NLAWs and the javelins are what's winning this war, as well as the will and patriotism of many people around the world, not just the Ukrainian people. When the Russians have very weak weapons, their tanks are soft, their armor, while having the old Soviet titanium helmets, a 9mm can give you a concussion inside that thing. A 223 or a 556 fired out of an M4 will penetrate straight through it. There is no stopping with that armor. Their armor is useless. The only thing scary about them is their nuclear missiles. And we should honestly call their bluff. Because they are bluffing. They do have nuclear missiles, short-range ones, in Pripyat. And hopefully Pripyat will be attacked and took back by the Ukrainians. But right now Kyiv, the capital, needs to be defended at all cost. The Battle of Kyiv is currently in progress. They have not fully penetrated Kyiv yet, but they didn't fully penetrate Moscow in the Battle of Moscow either, did they? So, with that out of the way as well, I have one more thing to say. To the Ukrainian people, and all of the people fighting in Ukraine, Slava Ukraine! And then, to the Russian people. Not to the politicians. Fuck you, politicians. Alright? Fuck you. You're to blame for this. Not the people. Not the soldiers. You goddamn politicians. You all are the problem here. But you all realize that. And we will take you out eventually. But to the Russian people, I say this. Я навезу вас ultimavaz natosi za ito vonyu. For those of you who do not know what that means, I have it translated right here. I do not see you as responsible for the war. I will say it one more time, to be completely clear, and much slower. Я не везу вас odvezes von itselci za ito vonyu. Hope I'm pronouncing that properly. But you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that is all. Stay safe, and good luck to all people fighting in Ukraine. And hopefully, by the end of this war, the casualties will not be too much higher, but I really can't say that they won't. They will be. They already are skyrocketing. Goodbye. See you later.